Okay, so you go in there, you're excited, you think you're gonna show off your karate. They don't want to see any of that, at least not right now. They give you the sides, you do the side, and you don't have the acting experience, so that didn't go over too well. You feel defeated.
It was
And
terrible.
okay, so it was terrible.
Get him the hell out of here! Get him out of here now!
And then what happened? Like you must have heard that, oh, they're casting this big martial arts film,
Right.
or
What happened was I on the martial arts in the competition scene, of mine were telling me about it because at the time they didn't have any leading guys of color like me in any big films. Uh, there was Apollo Creed before me and Rocky, and there were parts here and there, but few and far between. Even Denzel was only on a TV show called St. Elsewhere, but there was an ensemble cast there. But as a lead role in a major motion picture, wasn't happening much at all. So I just thought I was a fish out of water. I didn't know anything about acting. So I at first I was like, nah, that's not. How am I gonna? They kept pushing me. So eventually I got it to get an audition, and I went there thinking I was going to do a kato or something, had my gi all pumped up.
Mhm.
Just thinking about it, the expectations after you get all pumped up. Yeah, you can get this part, your friends, it's you, man. I'm all excited when I go in there. I do terrible because they didn't want any martial arts exhibition. They just wanted to have you sit down and read a piece of paper called the sides, which is part of a script.
Okay.
And I couldn't put it together. I didn't understand what this character was about. And I went home feeling really bad about it because they got me all pumped up.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, obviously they want people that can act and do the lines, but a lot of the film, you got to show, and you did showcase some extreme martial arts talent. You'd almost think just to filter people out, they would kind of do both. You would think they would, like, let's see if this guy can actually move and look pretty good, and then do the lines on top of that.
I
It's
think they were
interesting they only wanted you to read.
I think they were trying to send a message, like, okay, guys, don't come in here and start kicking.
Okay.
You
So
know, like
was this just like
Yeah.
anybody could have just, came in to audition? You didn't
No.
necessarily
This is
have to.
private. Yeah, it was a private audition.
Let's say that again.
No, it wasn't open. It wasn't. They had an open one, but that was just for marketing to people, let them know about the movie. But the real one was with a serious casting director in New York City.
Okay, but so everyone's like encouraging you, hey, you should try out for this. But how did you get the invite though?
Well, Lester Wilson was a big dance choreographer, and my mother knew him, so she asked him if he could. Yeah, and that's how it happened.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, so you go in there, you're excited, you think you're gonna show off your karate. They don't want to see any of that, at least not right now. They give you the sides, you do the sides, again, and you don't have the acting experience, so that didn't go over too well. You feel defeated.
It was
And
terrible.
okay, so it was terrible.
Get him the hell out of here! Get him out of here now!
And then what happened?
Yeah, I didn't want to tell anybody, but I was a very sensitive kid, and my father's a tough kind of guy, and he was an artist, and he had merchandise he wanted to sell, and he had a girl he knew in Miami. He wanted me and my best friend, to drive out there with him in a van with all this stuff. So he called me up. He told me to call my best friend at the time to come with him in the van, and we're going to drive out to Miami. So me and my best friend at the time, we were, I was 18, 19, and we said, okay, we'll go to the beach, meet some girls, have a good time. But I was miserable, right? About this whole Last Dragon thing. We get in a van with my father, and he's like wanting me to get out of my funk. So in a positive way, but it wasn't positive. In a positive way, he's like, pull the sides on you. And I still had them, actually.
Sure.
So he grabbed them, and he would, in between driving, which was not a good thing to do, he would look at the sides, and he said, this is simple. What's your problem? don't you get it? I didn't get it. I didn't get this whole thing, about this innocence and this like the way that Bruce Leroy talked without contractions.
The secret awaits eyes, unclouded by ambition.
What?
So all the way the drive in and out, he was like whacking me in the back of my head. No, it's not like this, like this. And my best friend sat between us. So by the time we got there, I got out of the van and I didn't want anything to do with the film. I didn't want anything to do with my father. I want to get the fuck away from him.
Sure.
And my best friend said, "Hey man, you all right?" And I said, "No, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't care if I." And he said, "If there was a God on earth, that role was written for you." And it was one of those things that just, light bulb goes off, and you knew that what he was speaking to was resonating and was true. And I knew it intuitively. And we were playing around, cleaning roofs, cracking up with the lines and doing the lines. We went back to New York, I guess it was a month or more, and found out that the role was cast. And my heart sank because we were working on it. And I ran up to the office. I was really upset about it. And I knocked on the door like, oh my God, like, please, can I? And the guy looked at me like he wanted me to get out of here.
You go now. Chop, chop. Holy ass out of this place.
And I never forget. But I pleaded with him, and he said, all right, come on inside. But he was just trying to get rid of me. But within a few seconds, he knew I was reading well, and he told me to sit down and read with him more. And then he said, stop. He called the production office.
Well, we can make a deal. We can make a lot of money. Listen, I'll give you the foreign rights. I'll take domestic. What do you say?
Told me to go to production office, and lucky for me, the guy at the time didn't sign the contract, and they fired him and hired me.
Do you know who it was?
His name was Van Silt.
Dan Silt?
V like van, like a truck, a van.
Oh, Van.
Okay. Van Silt. Yeah, I it seemed like a nice guy. He was a good martial artist. And, I didn't know anything about him other than meet him a couple of times. He was a very nice guy.
Okay. Yeah, it worked out though. So the guy supposedly got it. He never signed. You come back. You're more than ready, more than prepared. You've been doing the lines for a month, and you impressed the guy. And then you went to the casting office, and then, well, so after you read for them, and they're like, okay, you got this character now. Like, how long before you officially signed on?
Yeah, that was a big roller coaster because the producers were like, yeah, it was a big scam trying to get me to sign on for, like, when you look at these kind of things in Hollywood, they will always tell you something that is outrageous, but it's also true. That everybody wants the role.
Oh, sure.
And they would do it for free. So that was their scam,